This is video number 82 for bass students, and in this video we are going to learn to play the C major scale and arpeggio. Okay, we're going to use that new key signature that you just learned, that C major key signature, and learn to play the C major scale and arpeggio. Now, remember what a scale is you go on the name of the scale, you start on that note, so it's a C major scale, we're going to start on C, and notice this is a C, not a C sharp, right? Because in C major, everything is natural. You're going to play everything in that key signature until you get to the note name again, the name of the scale again. Everything in the key signature. That means all these notes are going to be natural. So we have C, and then D, and then E, and then F, which is of course not F sharp. Plain old F, also known as F natural, kind of our newer note. G, A, B, and C. Okay? Now this is a 1 octave scale. This 1 octave scale, of course, has 8 notes. That's where we get the name octave. 1 octave, 8 notes. Okay, so this C that you're going to play is going to be a C natural over on the A string. That's going to be 2 fingers on the A string. That's C natural on the A string. If you did 4 fingers on the A string, you'd be playing C sharp. We don't want that. We want C natural. 2 fingers, okay? Just like you did in your G major scale, because G major had C natural too, right? So 2 fingers on the A string, and then open D, E, F natural, open G, A, and you're going to shift right here. You're going to shift right here to 2nd position. You're going to go dash 2, and then 4. And then you'll shift back down to 1st position on your way down, okay? I've got the camera kind of close because I want you to be able to see my hand as we do this. I want that to be kind of close up. So I'm going to try to get out of the way. There we go. So you can see the board behind me. So we're going to start with C, and then open D, and then E, F natural, open G. Don't ever do any 4s on here, okay? C, D, E, F natural, open G, A. But then instead of using 4th finger for B, so what we're going to do, we're going to shift to 2nd position. 2nd position is where your 2nd finger is on the 2nd fat tape. Okay, fat tape, fat tape. 1st finger is on the skinny tape. A, B, and this is C natural right there. Okay, now you might have different tapes. If you're not one of my students and you're watching this, you very likely have different tapes than I have on my students' instruments. This is all 1st position. This 4th finger, that's where your 4th finger normally goes, that's where you're going to put your 2. Where you normally play B, we're still playing B. B still lives right here. We're just going to play it with 2nd finger, okay? So B and then C. This over here was C sharp. This is high D, okay? C sharp and high D. We're not going to go that far. I just want to kind of give you kind of an idea of where your hand's supposed to go. A, little shift, tiny shift. Slide. B, C. A, B, C. And then C, B, A. A, B, C, B, A. Okay, let's try that now. 2 of each one, just shadow bow this first time through. Starting with 2 fingers right here on the A string. And let's see, and go. C, open D, E. Now 2nd finger, because it's F natural, and go straight to open G now. Open G. Now A, then get ready to shift. B with 2nd finger, and then C right there. C. Now B, shift A, open G. Now F natural, 2 fingers is next, 2 fingers. Now E, open D, arm around for C. Okay, so the trickiest part about this, people want to play an F sharp here because you're just so used to playing F sharp. You don't ever put your 4 down. It's going to feel a little weird. But on that scale, you're in C major, you don't ever put your 4 down. Now, we're going to do the arpeggio. And you might remember that the arpeggio is certain notes of the scale. The arpeggio is the 1st note of the scale, and then the 3rd note of the scale. Next is the 5th note, and you're going to want to say, oh, 1, 3, 5, 7. No, it's not. It's 1, 3, 5, and then the highest note. So in this case, this shift will be a little easier, because look, you're going to go straight from open G to C. So you get to shift while you're playing the open G. The mistake people make on this one, when they do that shift, they go way too far. Because you're used to shifting. Most of your shifts have been up to third position, right? And that's a big old shift. This is not a very big shift. And watch how little it goes. You're going to go C, E, open G, C. Just from first position there. Okay? Shadow bow that and ready and go. C. Now E. Open G. Shift while you're playing open G. Now back down. Open G. Now what's next? E. Next is C. Okay? Now let's try to play the scale first, and then we're going to stop and then do the arpeggio. Just do the scale. Play the scale with me. Ready and go. C. Now open D. Now E. F natural. Open G. Be thinking about that shift because it's coming up, and now you're going to shift here. Little shift. Repeat that C. Now B. Now shift back down. Open G, F natural, 2 fingers. E, open D, now C. Okay, if you need to pause the video until you get that, I would do that before you try to do the arpeggio. Now try to do the arpeggio with me once you're ready, okay? Let's do the arpeggio together. C, E, while you're playing open G, you shift. Ready, arpeggio, go, C, now E, open G, now C, C, open G, E, and C. Okay? Be practicing those separately until you're pretty good at both of them, and then try to do them back to back. Like scale and arpeggio without stopping, just like you did with D and G major. And we're going to stick with just the 2 chord notes for a while. Later on, we might change the rhythm some, okay? But for now, just 2 chord notes on each one. You probably want to write this down somewhere. It's number 135 in your book, but it doesn't have the arpeggio, and it doesn't repeat the high C. And I want you practicing it repeating the high C. So you can look at your book, 135 on page 34, or you can write down what I have right here, or just take a little screenshot of it right now and you can see it, and then use that to practice, whatever. And you're eventually going to memorize it. So until you have it memorized, write it down somewhere. The main thing I want to make sure you have written down is where you shift. I want to make sure you know where to shift, okay? So on the scale, you shift for the B. On the arpeggio, you shift while you're playing open G, and it's a very small shift, only to second position.